Good afternoon, all of you. Am I audible? Please, one of you can respond. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let me start with the new topic, that is voltage gain. So in the last class, we have studied how to derive the expression for a signal current at the drain terminal. That is small letter ID. Small letter stands for, the lowercase letter stands for the signal component, that is AC component, and uppercase letters stands for the pure DC component, and combination of uppercase letters with lowercase subscript that denotes the overall voltage and overall current, considering the effect of both DC and AC signals. So next parameter, we are going to derive the expression for voltage gain of a MOSFET amplifier. So we know that as per our circuit, that is conceptual diagram that we have discussed yesterday, the expression for the total drain voltage VD is given by the supply voltage minus the drop across the drain resistance. Correct? Why? Because if you take an NMOS like this, that is in the common source configuration, we are having a drain resistance here and we are taking the output from the drain terminal, right? So we have a supply voltage, that is VDD, and the current passing through the MOSFET is designated as small letter I with capital suffix. So this is the total effect of both AC and DC current. So after applying the Kirchhoff's voltage law, we will be able to write the expression for the total drain voltage, which is equal to the total voltage minus the drop across RD. The drop across the drain resistance is given by IDRD. So VDD minus IDRD can be written as VD. Okay. Now from this ID is a total current, which is the sum of DC current and AC current. Okay, I'll give you time. Please don't write anything now. Capital ID is the DC current and small letter ID is the AC current. So in place of ID, we will replace ID plus ID. Okay. Then open the brackets, simplify it. So VD is equal to VDD minus IDRD minus IDRD. Now, if you see this equation, this is a pure DC component, right? We don't have any AC terms in that. So VDD minus capital IDRD can be considered as a pure DC voltage, which I will represent as capital V with uppercase subscript, that is VD. Okay. So this is your drain voltage, which is a pure DC component minus the AC voltage drop across the drain resistance. So this is the overall voltage at the drain terminal, which can be written as the DC voltage drop across the drain terminal minus the AC voltage drop across the drain resistance. Clear? Where small letter ID RD can be called as the AC component, which is represented by small letter VD as per equation number 11. I have put continuous equation number from the previous analysis as well in your notebook. Okay. So that is why it is starting from 1011. Don't bother about that. So I hope you got the concept. So first we will write the KVL equation in the output loop. Then in place of ID, we will substitute the effect of both AC and DC. Open the bracket. Consider the DC term alone. Consider the DC term together and replace it with VD, so that ID RD will become small letter VD. This is a signal component or the AC component. Clear? Now, in the last class already we derived the expression for the transconductance, and from the transfer characteristics already we know transconductance is defined as the slope of that particular curve, isn't it? The slope of that particular curve, ID versus VGS. So GM can be written as ID divided by VGS. So everything it is in AC. So GM is a transconductance which indicates the change in the drain current with respect to change in the AC voltage. So ID divided by VGS can be considered as GM. If you rearrange this, ID can be written as GM into VGS. That is equation number 12, and substitute 12 in 11. Why I am substituting 12 in 11? Because I need this expression in terms of output voltage and input voltage. As far as an AC analysis is concerned, signal analysis is concerned, your output voltage is small letter Vd and your input voltage is small letter VGS, right? So I have to replace this ID in terms of VGS so that it will be easier for you to find out the ratio between Vd and VGS, that is output by input. So we are trying to replace this ID with VGS. So this voltage gain here we are considering only the AC component. Okay, DC component capital VD already we have written over here. Remaining AC component we have taken for the analysis of small signal voltage gain. So you can substitute 12 in 11 so that the equation will become VD is equal to minus GM VGS into RD. Now you will take VGS to the left hand side so that you will get the expression for output by input voltage. You know that output is a drain voltage and input is the gate source voltage, which you can represent it as a voltage gain AV, that is equal to minus GM into RD. So the symbol, the negative sign here indicates that this amplifier is an inverting amplifier, which will always introduce a negative gain to the input signal. Okay. That means output is 180-degree phase shift. Output is having 180-degree phase shift with respect to input. So now you can take down this and later we'll have some conclusions with respect to this working. So for the faithful amplification, we need to satisfy some conditions as we discussed yesterday. We have to suppress the nonlinear distortions, right? Actually, we got three terms while writing the expression of signal drain current, out of which the third term was purely proportional to the square of VGS. That will introduce a nonlinear distortion to your circuit. So that term we need to suppress actually. Correct now? So from that analysis, we had a conclusion that your input VGS, that is VGS is your input AC signal which is to be amplified, and that input VGS should be very much less than that of 2 times of VOV. This was a conclusion that we had yesterday from the analysis of signal drain current. So if you want to get this appreciable gain or proper faithful amplification, AV is equal to minus GM into RD, the thing is you will have to satisfy this condition. That is the first prior most important factor. Okay. So it is not permissible for the user to give any input of any range. Okay, we don't have such freedom. So we have some restrictions. The restriction is that the input signal should not cross 2 times of overdrive voltage. If it cross means what will happen? it will lead to non-linear distortions, and because of which that linearity in the amplification will not be achieved. So that is what is mentioned here. You can read out this point. This is illustrated in the following figure. That is, the input signal is assumed to have a triangular waveform with an amplitude which is much smaller than 2 VGS minus VT. I will show you the diagram. So suppose if you are giving a triangular waveform as an input to this amplifier for the amplification purpose, then the amplitude of such a wave should be smaller than 2 times of VOV. VOV is overdrive voltage, which is nothing but the difference between VGS minus VGS and VT. So this will ensure a proper amplification or linear operation. So this is the first condition to be satisfied in order to get this gain minus GM into RD and a proper output waveform without any distortion. Second is, I already told you, you have to fix the Q point in the midway between the saturation. Okay. Your Q point, it should not shift towards point A, neither it should shift towards point B, where A and B are the extreme points of the saturation region, as we have discussed in the previous class. Okay. So the biasing point should be in the middle of the saturation region, so that we will expect a full swing in the output. Full swing in the sense without any clipping occurring at any of the half cycles of your input. So it will consider the entire input, and all those inputs can be amplified. That is, the entire swing can be maintained across the output load resistance. So that will be ensured only if your Q point is in the saturation region, and especially in the midway. Okay, so these are the two conditions to be satisfied for the linear and faithful amplification. Now this we have diagrammatically represented here. That is the relationship between input and output. And I already told you we have a negative symbol in the expression of gain, which indicates that a MOSFET amplifier, whenever it is working in a common source manner or common source configuration, it will be an inverting amplifier. So we are expecting a 180-degree phase shift. I'll give you 2 minutes. You can draw this graph and later I will explain. So the first graph, what I have shown is VGS, which is your input signal. Here I have taken the effect of DC signal as well. That is why we are expecting a shift of or a clamping effect to this triangular waveform. Okay. Normally, if there is no DC effect, means this triangular waveform should have a reference ground level, right? So we have considered the DC effect also. That is why this triangular waveform has shifted upwards. Okay, by a definite voltage. And also you can see the notation here, small letter V with capital GS means we have considered the total voltage of your input terminal. Total voltage in the sense the cumulative effect or the that is the overall effect of both AC and DC. And please understand that the peak to peak value of this triangular input is V. So this is a signal which is to be amplified. So V is the overall peak to peak. And the condition to be ensured is, I told you, the user or the designer is not having any freedom to give any input amplitude level. Okay, he has certain restrictions. The restriction is the amplitude should not go beyond 2 times of VOV. So that is why the amplitude is V by 2, right? The peak to peak is V, so amplitude will be V by 2. So that V by 2 should not be increased beyond 2 into VOV. So we are maintaining V by 2 less than 2 times of VOV, where VOV is the overdrive voltage, that is VGS minus VT. So upon satisfying this condition, we are taking one triangular waveform for the amplification purpose, and this triangular waveform is shifted upwards by a particular amount of DC, because we have given a DC biasing to the input circuitry, and also we have given a pure AC signal for the amplification. So when we consider the effect of both AC and DC together in the input circuit, of course our input will shift upwards by a definite amount. So this is how we have drawn your input waveform. Any doubts, students? regarding the first waveform, Banu Prakash? Okay. Now coming to the output waveform, while drawing the output waveform, you have to be careful that you have to show the 180-degree phase shift. So corresponding to the positive going signal, you will have to draw a negative going waveform like this. Okay. So whenever the input is crossing that reference level towards positive, correspondingly your output should cross the ground level and I mean the reference level and move towards negative. So this shows the output waveform, and the amplitude of your output is more than that of the input, so as to show the amplification factor. Now, what is the amplification factor that you have used? Can anybody tell what is the amplification factor of this particular MOSFET as per our previous derivation? What is the amplification factor that we got from the previous derivation of voltage gain? What is amplification factor? It is nothing but the gain. Now tell, what is the gain of this amplifier? Nikita.
GM into RD, sir.
Yeah, GM into RD. Then why you are not speaking? At least you can support me, no? See, I feel this is a one-man show. Simply I am talking for 1 hour continuously. You people will not respond. Whatever you know, you can tell. I feel that you know everything, but you are not talking. You are not unmuting yourself, and at least you can put your answers in the chat box. No, that also you will not do. So I want you people to interact with me so that we can proceed it nicely. Otherwise, it will be boring for me also, because continuously I am speaking. You will not. I can't ensure whether you are listening or not. So I don't want to insist you to put on your videos and all. Why? Because I know for the placement purposes, it is compulsory that you have to switch on your videos and it will take much data. So I want to insist that, but make sure that at least you respond. So the amplification factor is GM into RD. So the output peak to peak voltage will be gain into input, right? Output is gain into input. Gain is GM into RD. Okay. Gain is GM into RD as per our analysis. So GM RD into the input. Input is V. So that is the overall output voltage. So GM RD into V is the peak to peak value of your output signal. So by carefully designing the resistance value RD, we can find the gain. Okay, now one more one more condition we have to ensure. You know that for getting the proper swing, you should bias your Q point in the mid of saturation region. So for that, the condition to be satisfied is VDS greater than or equal to VGS minus VT whenever we are considering an NMOS, right? VDS is greater than or equal to VGS minus VT. So this condition we have shown here also. Okay. So by fixing proper biasing resistances, we should be able to get this output like this, so that the output waveform should shift upwards Okay, the output waveform should shift upwards, and at least it should be greater than or equal to the magnitude of the output should be greater than or equal to this value. So this can be considered as the boundary level, which is nothing but your VGS minus VT. Okay, so we are expecting a proper output at the drain terminal, which is greater than VGS minus VT. Then only that proper amplification will take place without any distortion. So that condition we have incorporated here. And at the same time, the maximum voltage, anyway, it is not going beyond VDD. The maximum amplitude of your output signal will not go beyond VDD. Why? Because the supply voltage is VDD itself. Okay, so your output is getting swinged in between VDD and VGS minus VT. So this is a maximum level and this is a minimum level to be ensured. So if you bias the circuit properly, fix the Q point properly by taking RG1, RG2, RS, those things, then we can maintain this level. Okay, that is VGS minus VT will be the lower level and VDD will be the upper level. By why? Because the maximum supply voltage is VDD that we are using here. So this is the expected output, triangular output corresponding to this triangular input whose voltage is V volt peak to peak, and the output voltage is gain into input, that is GMRD into V. Clear? Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, now separating the DC analysis and the signal analysis. So till now in this second module, what we have learned is we have learned how to write the expression for signal current, how to fix a DC bias point, how to write the expression for signal current, and what is the condition to be satisfied for suppressing the nonlinear distortion of an amplifier, then the derivation of voltage gain, and the how to draw your output waveform of an amplifier corresponding to your input. So these were the considerations till now. Now we will deal with separating the DC analysis and the signal analysis. That is, normally if you take any circuit, we'll have a supply voltage for the proper working and for fixing the biasing. Apart from that, we also give a signal input, that is AC input, to be amplified. So in some applications, rather than combining the DC analysis and signal analysis together, we have to separate the analysis like DC analysis and signal analysis separately. Okay. So how to perform this DC analysis and signal analysis separately? Okay. So normally if you take signal and DC together, the expression for your output voltage at the drain terminal will be the sum of the DC effect and AC effect. That is nothing but, according to the equation, capital VD plus small letter VD. So this is the total drain voltage, that is considering both capital ID and small letter ID, that is considering the DC current as well as the signal current. Okay. So this is actually the small signal approximation. Small signal approximation involves the superimposing AC over or signal over the DC quantities. Okay, superimposing the signal over the DC quantities. So after superimposing, we will be able to get this equation for small letter VD in terms of capital VD as well as your pure AC component. Now, but this is really tedious. The combined analysis of DC and AC, when it comes together into one circuit, that will be tedious. So why you require to separate the DC analysis and the signal analysis? Because we have to make our analysis more simpler and bias calculations even more simpler. So to analyze and design a circuit, okay, to make the calculations more simpler, to assess the parameters, performance parameters in a simpler way, we have to separate the DC or the bias calculations from the small signal calculations. DC or bias calculations are separated from the small signal calculations. Why? To make the analysis and the design of a circuit even more simpler. So how this is being done is, before giving the signal input, first we will ensure the proper DC operating point or Q point. Okay, that is in the feasible region, in the most desired region, like the midpoint of your saturation region, we will focus on that point, and then we will try to fix our Q point. That is the X coordinate and Y coordinate. What is X coordinate? Normally the voltage VDS. Y coordinate is current. When we are coming to the transfer characteristics, it is VI V0 or VGS versus ID, correct? So all these drain current and drain voltages we will fix by using appropriate resistances and supply voltages. Okay, so once we ensure a stable operating point, the concept of stable operating point is that we will take the most feasible point as a Q point. Why? Because we know that after giving an AC input, anyway, there is slight shifting is going to happen for the Q point. So even though this Q point is getting shifting either towards the triode region or towards the cutoff region, still there should not be any distortions in the amplification out in the amplified output, right? So by considering that into account, we have to carefully fix this Q point and make it stable. That is, even though it is shifting after applying your AC input, but it will not affect our overall output swing. So in that way, we have to fix it. So once it is established, then all the DC quantities we will calculate. DC quantities in the sense the DC voltage and DC current, all those we will calculate. That is nothing but your Q point or bias calculations. Okay, then we may perform the signal analysis ignoring the DC quantity. So once it is fixed and established, okay, then what we will do is we will go for the signal analysis ignoring the DC quantities. So all the DC quantities will be ignored and the effect of AC alone will consider to calculate the voltage gain and other parameters of the output, and later we will combine the effect of DC and AC together. So this is how we are separating the DC and AC analysis, and this is applicable for the further analysis of the source, common gate and common drain amplifier versions. So now you learned why you require to separate the DC and AC analysis. So the important objective is to minimize the complexity of bias calculations and make it more simpler. Okay. Now, in the yesterday's class, we learned one equation for the transconductance. That is GM is equal to Kn dash W by L into VOV, right? Similarly, we are going to derive two more equations for the transconductance in this class. So the question will be like this: derive three possible equations for transconductance. So you have to learn three equations for the transconductance, and based upon that, they may ask the numerical problems. Okay. So you can take down these steps. So from where did you get this equation? Can anybody tell from where did you get this equation? This is the expression for what? Signal drain current, that is AC current flowing through the drain terminal. So already we have discussed this in the last class, correct? So from that we have taken, that is the third term, ID is equal to Kn dash W by L into VGS minus VT into VGS. So this is the expression for the signal current, not third term, second term. Third term already we have discarded, that is with respect to your distortion, that already we had discarded by ensuring your input VGS less than 2 times of VOV. After discarding the third term, you have a second term which corresponds to your AC term. So that is Kn dash W by L into VGS minus VT into small letter VGS. From this, you will take this VGS to the left hand side and find the ratio ID by VGS. This is nothing but your transconductance, and you can replace VGS minus VT as VOV. Same thing what we have studied in the last class. So this is one equation for GM. put it in a box where VOV is the overdrive voltage. Similarly, we are going to derive two more equations. Done. Okay, now coming to the second equation, second derivation of GM. So from where should we start? We'll start with expression for ID, capital ID. That is the DC current. So if we are fixing our Q point in the saturation region, then you know that the equation for ID is half Kn dash W by L into VGS minus VT the whole square. So this is VOV square. Rearrange it. We are trying to derive one more equation for GM. Apart from equation number 16, we are going to have one more equation. So for that, we'll start with writing the equation for ID, that is a DC drain current. And this is VOV square, rearrange it. So VOV square is 2 times of ID divided by Kn dash W by L. Then from this, write VOV by taking the square root. VOV is square root of 2 ID divided by Kn dash W by L. Now this we are going to substitute on equation number 16. As per equation number 16, GM is in terms of overdrive voltage. So now we are going to manipulate this equation, substitute VOV in terms of ID. I hope you are writing. So put 17 in 16 and simplify it. Separate all the terms within the square. You can apply that square root individually to all the terms. Substitute 17 in 16. So GM is equal to Kn dash W by L. Instead of writing VOV, it will be root of 2 ID divided by square root of Kn dash square root of W by L. Isn't it? That is, I have applied that square root to each and every terms. Now, if you cancel this, you have a square root of Kn dash in the numerator. Similarly, if you cancel this, we will have a square root of W by L over here. So your final equation for GM is square root of Kn dash root of W by L root of 2 ID, and for convenience, I will always take this 2 along with the Kn dash since it is constant. So final equation can be written as square root of 2 Kn dash root of W by L root of ID. So from this, it is evident that the GM is directly proportional to the drain current. Correct? No. If current increases, means normally conductance will also increase. At the same time, if you are able to maintain a higher aspect ratio for the MOSFET, then the conductance can be increased. Logically, it is correct only because if you want to maintain, or if you can maintain higher width for the channel while doing the manufacturing process, then normally the flow of electrons will be more. The rate of flow of electrons will be more. That is, it will affect on the conductance also. So if you can improve the aspect ratio, if you can improve the drain current, and if you can improve, increase the value of that constant, manufacturing constant Kn dash, then correspondingly the transconductance will also increase. So this is the second equation for GM. That is, put it in a box. So we have two equations now. One is GM Kn dash, I mean GM equal to Kn dash W by L into VOV. That is in terms of overdrive voltage. But instead, if we don't have that overdrive voltage in your numerical problem, instead if you are having ID, then you should make use of this equation and solve. Okay, so that depends upon the question, which expression you need to take, right? So you have to study this equation as well as this equation, both. So what is the conclusion based upon equation number 18? I hope you have done this till equation number 18. Can I proceed?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the conclusion is, for a given MOSFET, the GM is proportional to the square root of the biasing current, and also it is proportional to the square root of aspect ratio. Now we have to go for the third equation of for GM. So again, we will start with ID. That is a condition of saturation.